So we're going to start by talking about a point, which is just marked by putting a dot in your paper. It's just to talk about a location. And the important thing is that you name it with a capital letter. If we're talking about a line, I think everyone knows what a line is. No thickness, continues forever in both directions. You need at least 2 points to be able to talk about a line. So this line passes through A and B. You can call it line AB. You can call it line BA, writing out the word. Or you can put this little symbol above it, which is just a line, and that means you're talking about line AB. Or you can put these little kind of italic cursive letters next to it, and you can name it with just one letter. So if you do a little L, you can call it line L. When you talk about a plane is just a flat surface, like the top of a table, a wall, whatever. Those are all kind of like planes. It extends forever in all directions. You can also put a capital kind of cursive, fancy italic letter and name it by that. So in this case, plane R. Or if there's 3 points, as long as those 3 points aren't in the same line, if there are 3 points all over the plane, you can call it with those 3 points, X, Y, Z, or any order would work for those. You could say plane ZYX or whatever. Now, a line segment is just a portion of a line. It's a segment of a line. So when you've got 2 points, it doesn't go on forever because it's just a segment. It has 2 points called endpoints, and it talks about all the points in between those 2 endpoints. So you can name it by the 2 letters. You have to use those 2 letters. It doesn't matter the order, so you can say segment CD or DC. Or you can put the symbol above it, which is a line without the arrows because it doesn't go on forever. Arrows means it goes forever. If there's no arrows, it doesn't go forever. An array has one endpoint, P in this case, and then it goes forever through Q and keeps going forever and ever and ever. So it's got an arrow on it because it keeps going through Q. The arrays, it does matter what order you put the letters. The first letter that you write when you're naming it has to be the endpoint, and then it has to go through Q, and that's the direction of the arrow. So you can use the word array, or you can use the symbol, which just looks like array. It's like a line with just the one arrow. The P has to be first because it's the endpoint, and the arrow always points to the right, no matter what direction the array was drawn in the diagram. When you write it, you always put the endpoint first, and the arrow always points to the right. So for these, gives us a description, and then we have to make the drawing ourselves. So we're going to start by drawing 2 points, J and K. So we're going to put 2 dots. Name one of them with a J and the other one with a K. And then we'll draw the line through them, remembering that the line has to show the arrows at both ends. So we've got point J, point K, and then the line going through it. So we just drew line JK. If you wanted to write about it, that's the way that you would write it. Could write KJ also if you wanted to. Now we're going to do J and K again, but this time we're going to draw the line segment. So there's J. They don't need to be the exact same way. I'll put K down here this time. And then the line segment, just make sure that it only connects and does not go through. So that is segment JK, and then you would write about it, putting the line on top with no arrows on it, because it's a segment. A point K again, and draw a ray from endpoint K. Plot a point J along the ray. So here's K. We're going to draw a ray this time. Could go any way we want. I'll draw it this way. And then plot a point J along the ray. So here's J, somewhere in there. And when you name a ray, you have to start with the endpoint. So in this case, we have to start with K. And then the J, and you put the ray symbol above it. Now draw 3 points, J, K, and M, so that they're not all on the same line, and then draw the plane that contains the 3 point. You might also put a script letter, such as B, on the plane. So normally when you draw a plane, it just kind of looks like a parallelogram, something like that. And you put the 3 points on there, J, K, and M. And it says you can also put the script letter B on there, down in the corner. Just do your best to make it look fancy, as I like to say. So it says give a name for each of the figures you drew. So we actually were doing that as we went through. We had line JK, segment JK, array KJ, and plane B or plane JKM. So we named them as we went. We had J, we had line JK, we had segment JK, we had ray KJ, remember it started with K, and we had plane JKM. And then if you go all the way back to the first thing that we wrote down, points, lines, and planes were all undefined. So point, undefined, line, undefined, planes are undefined. You just kind of have to know what they are. And then segments and rays are defined. So now we're going to write all the ways to refer to the figure formed by the endpoints A and B and all the points between. So it's got 2 endpoints and all the points in between. That is a segment. So that's the first thing we need to realize, is that it's talking about a segment. And then since it's got the endpoints A and B, you can write it as AB or BA. So there's 2 ways we could write it. We could write it as segment AB or segment BA.